Hello, everybody. My name is Creation, and I'm going to start a video blog about my personal perceptions of life and how I live my life. Just to have like a history or a record, in case, when I do pass away, that'll be something like a legacy out there that, explains who I was and, what I believe. And I think everyone should do that as, as a legacy unto yourself. And so I call the channel Situation with Creation. And my name is Creation, but my family name I was given Tyrone, but I chose my own personal name to myself as Creation because I believe we should be able to choose our own personal names. We're given a name by birth, and sometimes people are given names they don't even like. So to me, I have a family name, and then amongst my friends, I have Creation as a name. And so for this first video, I'm new at this, so I have no idea what I'm doing, but I think you wouldn't care because, as long as I'm real and being myself, I can learn as I go along. So I think for this first one, for situation with creation, my situation today is my coming out story. So first, as you can see, I am a black man, but I'm also a gay black man. And I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio. And at that time, when I was younger, the atmosphere was gang related. There was a lot of, people being harmed, a lot of people being selling drugs on the corner, getting high and doing all of those things in the neighborhood. But the thing that was troublesome to me was that, being a gay black man or even a gay black kid, I mean, there was nobody to talk to. So my experience, I was very quiet to myself. I never spoke to anyone, and I was afraid to go to school and walk down the street because I was afraid that I would be harmed or killed, or like I wouldn't survive the event. And so I know one day my mom, we were watching a movie, and it was two guys kissing on there, and I mentioned or made a statement of, I wouldn't kiss him like that, and she was like, oh, you better not be gay. And I was like, oh, I guess I can't, reveal my true self or how I feel about things. And so also, with the church too, I didn't live in a neighborhood that had, a lot of, there was not a lot of diversity. So there was basically just, black people. And being a gay black man is not something that's accepted, especially not in church. So I lived a sheltered life. I lived to myself, like what they call the recluse. Like I was, in my room all the time. I never would come out, and I had to entertain myself because there was nobody to talk to about who I am or who I was. And so I did try to commit suicide. I know that seems to be the trend sometimes, when you're living in a life where you feel nervous all the time and there is no way to escape. And I did attempt that twice, and it never succeeded. I tried, well, I won't say what I tried, but I tried and it didn't succeed. So I just figured that God had a plan for me because I survived, my two attempts. And so as I got older, I graduated and I tried going to the army, and that didn't work out for me. I was diagnosed with something called generalized um, anxiety disorder, which they call, oh, no, I'm sorry, generalized anxiety syndrome, and then it was disorder. When I was younger in 1993, it was generalized anxiety syndrome, and now it's disorder. So with that, they told me I needed medication, and I thought, no, I don't want to do that because I don't want to be a zombie. Not saying that medication is not right, but for me, I felt, no, I don't want that. So I learned meditation, and I learned, how to say to myself and stay away from things that made me nervous or things that made me feel like, panicky or things like that. And so when I finally got out of the army, I did join like a church group for a while. I tried Christianity, and I didn't. They don't believe in people being gay. Sodom and Gomorrah, all those types of things mentioned, lay with men, and those types of scenarios. But I thought, well, since I was still a virgin at the time, I thought I could live and stay with the church people, and they would never know, or that I never had to reveal that I was gay because I wasn't pursuing any kind of relationships or anything that would even, mention or make, notice that I was gay at all. But I stayed there for about maybe 10 years, and so I got tired of that because it's not who I really am and it wasn't a good fit for me. And but I am a spiritual person, but in Christianity, in my specific experience, it didn't feel like gay people could be spiritual at all. It was considered, a sin. No, don't be gay. But that's not what I tell people. So when I left the church and I finally got established, with who I was, I tried going to school. Went to um, I went to a community college, Cuyahoga Community College, and they had a gay straight alliance there, and so I decided to come out there. So I was about 30 years old at this time, and I had never. Well, no, that's not true. I told one person I think in my life that I was gay when I was in high school, but that was more or less. I said I was bisexual, and then later I said I was gay, but that was short lived. I graduated, and so I wasn't able to express, that part of me to anyone else. But when I got to Tri-C or Cuyahoga Community College, in the Gay Straight Alliance, I came out there and then I posted it on Facebook and I thought, this will be the best time since I have a support system now. I can come out and let's see what happens. So I forgot my mom was in my friends on Facebook. So my sister, she told me that I had to talk to my mom. She said, you have to speak to your mom. And I was like, what's going on? And she said, she saw your post on Facebook, and I was like, oh no. So then I called her on the phone, and what she wanted to know was, am I going to start wearing dresses, or am I going to, be like, I guess the other daughter or something? And I thought that's a stereotype. Just because you're gay doesn't, for me, doesn't mean that you have to, act or be in those things, But I told her, I said, well, how you know me as your son, as I am every day, that is me being gay. And so she said it, she didn't say it was wrong and she accepted me. But I asked her, would she be interested if I had a relationship? Would she be interested in the details of who I was dating? Or she said, no, it's really your business. It's not my business. So I respect her for that, because it is my life. It's not really hers, but she still loves me just the same. I just keep my business to myself. Not that she would, she's passed away now, but not that she would shun my boyfriend or anything like that, but she changed over the years, which people can do that. So I was glad that she changed to a way that wasn't like, I'm gonna disown you. How a lot of people have a lot of bad experience when they come out, but mine wasn't as traumatic, and I'm very thankful for that. But to me, being gay also in terms of like spirituality, I thought there is nowhere that I can actually go for me that I found that satisfy my like what I want to be as a spiritual person or being. And being gay to me is a same sex attraction that I think derives from being spiritual. If you really think about it, if you take away the physical aspect of how things progress, really on the inside, when you actually care and love somebody, that is like being spiritual to me. So to me, I thought, well, you know what? Let me start something. So I started a ministry, and it's called Peace Pattern Ministry because I believe in peace, and I believe that's how we all should live. Everybody should live in peace their way, what makes them happy, despite what other people are saying. We're individuals. Nobody can live our life for us. So I thought, let me, start a ministry or something that will help, gay people, everybody actually. But really, I started off, as the LGBTQIA kind of minister in terms of peace, where gay people can be spiritual, you know. So to me, I started the ministry, and so I teach people how to find peace within themselves and peace with others. And I believe in the creator creation idea because that seems very simple to me. Like, I didn't create myself, and that's something that um, I can never like disbelieve. That's a truth that you can never ever overcome. So I thought I'll start there. I didn't create myself, so there is a force or there is something that created me. So I thought, okay, well then let me start at truth, because truth is defined, if you look it up, as actually what is reality, what really is, not what I want it to be, not what I hope it is, or not what someone told me, is what it actually is. So I thought the actual creator, or the actual creating force that created me, will be known in truth. So truth is my creator until, I find that specific being or entity or force that actually created me the way that I am. And so to me, I started off like, in order for me to find spirituality the way that's right for me and peace, because everyone's different, I had to think about, what would happen if I had nobody around to teach me or tell me anything? What would I be doing? If I didn't even know what spirituality was, if I didn't know the things I had heard from, the Christian group, what would I be doing? So the things that I learned, first what I did was define the word truth, to start there, start at the definition and the word, the truth. And so it's actually what is, what really is. So I thought, okay, so what am I really doing if nobody's around? So well, let's see. Well, I'm breathing. I know that sounds funny, but that's where I was at in my life. I thought the basis of life, living. I thought it's all about living because no one is telling me what's right or wrong yet. So basically, I'm just living. So what do I do to stay alive? Well, first, I'm breathing. So I thought, okay, the truth is I breathe in and out this substance, this air. Without it, I'll die. So I need this to survive. So that's the truth to me that won't ever change. I will never ever be able to be convinced that if I don't breathe that I will stay alive. So I know the truth is telling me, or in demonstration of life living, is that breathing is something you need to do to stay alive. So truth to me is wind and air. So then I thought, well, what else do I do? Then, well, I drink water. And I was like, okay, so then without the water, if I don't drink it after so many days, I'm going to dehydrate and I'm going to die, or I'm going to die for lack of water. So to me, truth for living is, truth is water to me. Actually, what I'm drinking to stay alive. And that's a truth also, that you can never get away from. It's something that'll never change. And so the other thing is, truth is like heat. You need heat or you'll freeze to death and you'll die. You need heat, you need light, fire. So to me, truth is heat that I need to stay alive in order to, keep on or I'll freeze to death. So then I thought, well, what else do I do? I said, well, truth is to me earth, like the food I eat, my body's made of it. You can even see examples. We're similar to the dust of the ground. We use the ground to grow food and crops, and we need, if we don't eat, we will die sooner or later. So truth to me is the food that I eat like every day. So other than that, then we have truth is a combination, like my body. So first on the outside, we have, the wind and the water and the heat or light and fire. Then you have the earth, and then you have it working together as a system. It's working together as a mini system. I call it the creation, like on the outside. And then I examine myself, and it's like, well, I need that wind. It's a part of who I am as a created being or creation. That's why my name is creation. And also, you need water, you need heat, and you need earth, your body. And it works together as a body, as a system, a mini creation or a system. And you have a system, whether it's the outward system, the creation, or the inward system of your body as a system. It all works together as one. And so to me, that's a truth that won't change. And every part of what I'm calling the truth pattern is basically what we're actually doing or what I'm actually doing to stay alive. And then we get to, okay, information. How do I live? What do I do with all of this? Okay, now I'm a system. How am I supposed to behave? How am I supposed to exist? So to me, I think peace is the way. Like when I think about, do I want to be harmed or destroyed or killed? No. Do I want to be happy? Yes. So to me, peace is a way, is how I'm supposed to exist and interact with the creation. Oh, and then it's like, okay, so truth is information, wisdom, and knowledge as peace to me. And so then the last part of the truth pattern, which is, okay, I didn't create myself, so where do I come from? Something created this creation or this system out here, and truth is where it will be found, the actual creator. So truth is a creator to me, that put the wind out here and the water, the heat and the fire and the earth, and it works together as a system, a body or creation. And then the information to live in peace, the living life, which is truth to me. And then truth is a creator creation, being the mind of the body, and the control of the system. Because without the creator putting it forth, we wouldn't even be, the creation wouldn't exist, and then we wouldn't exist. So that's what I call the truth pattern. There's like 7 parts. Truth is wind, truth is water, truth is light, fire, and heat, truth is earth, flesh, and dust, truth is creation, the body, and the system, and truth is information, wisdom, and knowledge. And truth is the creator of creation being the mind of the body and the control of the system. And it works all together in peace, known as the truth pattern. And so that's what I learned. And that's what I found to myself as my personal faith that I could believe in, and nobody could convince me otherwise. There's so many different ways of thinking in terms of religion or in terms of spirituality, but to me, that was my faith, and it's called the truth pattern. So then, after living with that understanding of what is called the truth pattern, I started thinking about, there is a creator now for me, and it's called truth, actually what is. So then I just took, instead of saying truth pattern, now I'm going to call it the creator pattern, where I was saying truth was wind, air, and spirit. Now I'm going to say the creator is wind, air, and spirit. So the creator, the one that created, or the force that put the wind together or created the wind that I need to live, the creator is wind, air. And the creator is also water, liquid mist, water that we need, hydration to stay alive. And the creator is also light and fire and heat. And the creator is also that earth, our food, what our body's made of, flesh and dust, meat. And the creator is also created, the whole system working together, called the creation or the body or just the system. The creator of the system. The creator is now creation, body, and system. And then the creator is the information that puts forth on how to live in peace. Our daily activities, our behaviors, our desires, how we interact, and what we will want, I think comes from that creating force called truth, which I think is the creator being the peace for my living life. And I just think more or less, is this peaceful for me or is it not peaceful for me? That's how I evaluate situations. I don't really say, oh, that's a sin and this and that. That's not my faith style, so I don't follow that. So I just follow, truth pattern, which is now creator pattern for me, because the creator is all these different things called the creator pattern. And then, so that's, first you got truth pattern that teaches you there is a creator. And then you got the creator pattern that shows you how the creator is all things. And then for behavior, I was thinking and meditating about, I came up with what is called the peace pattern for the behavior of my faith. So first I got truth pattern that teaches me and reminds me that truth is the creator for all the different parts of how I live. And then that the creator is truth, being the creator of all these different parts. And then my behaving in everyday living life is now called, to me, peace pattern. Well, now I put peace in the place where I put truth first and then the creator. So now it would be, peace is now the wind and air, like in terms of behavior. Peace is now the wind, the air, and people say spirit, which is defined as wind. But we'll get into that another segment. But for this video, I just wanted to simplify and just give a foundation of my personal perceptions and experience of life and how I think spiritual works as being a gay black man, or just being a gay man in general. Because to me, my skin color doesn't trump somebody else's skin color, but to me, I do have brown skin. So, that to me is earth, flesh, and dust for me. But continuing on, peace is wind, air, and spirit that I use for life every day. Peace is water. I mean, as a behavior, peace is water, how it nourishes my body, how it keeps me alive. Peace is water, liquid, and mist. Peace is light, fire, and heat. I believe that I can find peace in the heat within my body, with the sunlight, with heat in general, at a peaceable temperature that doesn't burn me up alive because, anything is, if you do it too much, it may be harmful, but at a peaceable level. And then peace is the earth, like the food I eat. I'm thankful and I can be at peace and know that the peace of the food is producing nourishment for my body in a peaceful way. And also, peace is the whole system working together in a behavior. The peace is the creation on the outside working together. The peace is my body working together as a system. Peace is the whole entire system with the creation, the body, and then a whole complete system where I interact with the creation as being a mini creation as a system in peace, where peace is that system in terms of behavior. Not it's like harmless and wise. I'm being harmless about what I'm doing because I don't ever want to harm anybody. I don't want to be harmed. For me personally, peace is what I'm supposed to do. And then peace is information, wisdom, and knowledge about, how am I supposed to do what I do. If I do anything that's not peaceful to something, I may get harmed. Or if I know that something is, say, like lions or something, if you want to say that, they have a way of living, but that's not peaceful for me because they may eat me. Even though for them, their peace may be doing what they're doing, but I'm not a lion. I have to go by what I am as a creation. So peace for me will be harmless and stay out of trouble, not harm anything because I don't want to harm me back. And if I find something that is going to be harmful for me, then I will have to separate from that or learn to interact in a peaceful way so I'm not harmed. Like bees. Bees can sting you, but they're not. If people, some people love bees, but I wouldn't be out there messing around with bees to be stung. That wouldn't be peaceful. Now, peaceful for me would be at a distance where I can see the bees or notice that bees are doing something on the flower, but I'm not going to interact in an aggressive way where they want to start stinging me. But that's just the way I think about things. Also, peace is from the creator creation, which is the truth, the actual creating force. And I believe that the creator is peace and the creator is truth, and it all works together as peace pattern for me, as my final stage for me, because it's the behavior stage of how to live. I already understand that truth is the creator for me. I already understand, like the truth pattern is teaching the truth is the creator and the creator is true. And then the creator pattern teaching that the creator created all things and is all things. And then the peace pattern, which teaches the behavior that the creative force will want me to live in, which would be the peace pattern. So it's like three types of patterns, but it's all the same pattern, originating in truth being the creator, and the creator is truth as peace. So that is how I live, and that's the ministry that I have. And to me, it keeps me in a state of peace. Like I still have anxiety and things of that nature, but I do meditate and I do control my situation without medication. Not telling people not to do that, not to get medication. This these videos are just my personal take on my life and my experience in this existence that we live in. Now, there are, if you want to try meditation, if you want to do those things to try to help alleviate stress in your body, please do so. But in no way am I telling or counseling or doing any of those things to tell you not to take medication. But if you do meditate, you can control your anxiety. You can. I'm telling you, I'm living proof of that because I've never been on medication. I've never done any of those things to try to alleviate my anxiety or my panic attacks or any of those things. And I'm 48 years old and I've been meditating since I was a teenager. And I'm telling you, without meditation, my life will be totally different than it is today. And so, with that, this is my first video podcast. I mean, or podcast, broadcast, YouTube video. I'm not really sure. And then I'm just going to learn and I'm going to put up more videos and I'm just going to take my time and learn how to do things that may be a little choppy, but this is the real, this is the real me. This is me learning. I'm not going to try to be the professional. I'm just going to tell you what I believe by truth and the peace within. And then hopefully it may help someone. Maybe you like what I have to say. If you do, I think I'm supposed to say, press the subscribe button, and things of that nature and get the notifications but if you don't like it, that's okay. If you do have questions, please feel free. Let it be a community. Let's learn from each other. If you have questions, ask me questions. And I'm a very open person, and I'll answer any question. As long as within guidelines, I'm not getting in trouble with anybody. I'll answer the question for you. So, with that being said, thank you very much for listening to this first broadcast with Situation with Creation. And I just want to leave with, smile because you are somebody and you have a peaceful day. All right, bye everyone.